There's a building downtown in my home city, Windsor, Ontario, that's owned by the local university. However, it was formerly an armouries for the local military regiments, the Essex and Kent Scottish and the Windsor Regiment. My father, being a part of the latter, spent many nights guarding the old armouries, where he and his fellow servicemen frequently experienced strange goings-on, which they attributed to a restless spirit. Back in 1940, the British Empire was, of course, at war with Germany. Many men enlisted, both young and old. One of these men was a great war veteran who was still with the Essex Scottish Regiment after 20 years. He arrived at the armouries in full military dress and asked to be sent to Europe, but he was laughed off and told he was far too old. Distraught, the old veteran went upstairs to the building's turret, where he hanged himself. Many years later, my father and the other members of the local regiments would be forced to sleep in the building, as the alarm system that protected the weapons room frequently malfunctioned. They would sleep in an office adjacent to the parade square, and would have to do sweeps of the building if they heard anything that could indicate a break-in. A balcony ran above the parade square, which happened to lead to the room in the turret which the old veteran died in. The soldiers posted at the night watch would often hear footsteps up on the balcony. Of course, whenever they would check, there would be no trace of anyone having been there, and as soon as they returned to the office from inspecting the noise, the footsteps would start again. No matter how quickly they rushed to the balcony, they never caught anyone up there. That's hardly the most extraordinary thing they encountered. Someone else my father knew was once tasked with staying behind as the duty NCO to clean everything up. After a long night of work, the fellow decided to rest in an office rather than driving home. He sat down and closed his eyes, and after a second, he heard a voice whisper, "Get out," into his ear. He opened his eyes, and seeing that he was the only one in the room, took the voice's advice and promptly left. Finally, one of my father's close friends was once tasked with the night watch. He was on the upper floor and was exiting a room onto the balcony. When he looked across to the entrance of that room in the turret, he saw an old man who he did not recognize standing there in full Highland kit. As my father's friend watched, the man slowly faded away into nothingness.